Hey everyone, welcome back to the AWESMR Pop channel. Today we're going to be making rainbow rice cakes. If you're not familiar with rice cakes, these have a similar texture to mochi, but these don't have any fillings. Now, if you don't know rice cakes or mochi, think of it as a gummy marshmallow dessert. Best way I can describe it. Just trust me on this, it's good. And shout out to Ari's Kitchen for the recipe. Thank you! So to make our rainbow rice cakes, you're going to need 2 cups of sugar. Let's pour it into a pot. Let's also add a cup of water into the pot as well. Now we're just going to bring this to a boil and keep it there for about 30 seconds. Right now we're making the syrup that we'll use later, but making it right now because we have to let this chill in the fridge. Now it's time to make the rice cakes. We're going to need a 1/4 cup of potato starch. There we go. We're also going to need a 1/4 cup of sugar. And we're going to need a cup of water. I'm chilling the syrup in the fridge so we can use this pot again. Let's add all of the ingredients into this pot. Before you turn the heat on, give your liquid a mix with your whisk. Get all the clumps out of the way. Now turn your stove on to medium-low heat and use a spatula to mix around. So normally, if you want to make these types of rice cakes, you would need Bracken starch. That's a little harder to find and it's a bit more pricey. Potato starch is a perfect alternative, easily accessible and much cheaper. So, as you keep stirring, your liquid will turn into more of a dough-like texture. Sort of looks like slime too, right? If you get something like this, you're on the right track. Keep mixing your sticky dough until it clumps up and turns into one big lump. Once you have your sticky dough, you can turn off the heat and just knead it for half a minute or so. Then you want to let it cool for a minute, and then you can move on to the next step. Alright, so to make the round rice cakes, you will need a mold tray to help you out. It'll make your life so much easier. I'm using spoons to transfer the sticky dough into the circular molds. But you can also put your dough into a piping bag and squeeze it out if you like. I thought using a spoon would be easier, but starting to realize a piping bag was the right call. But honestly, this part isn't a big deal and I'll show you why later. Just make sure you're filling these molds up completely. Okay, that looks good. Now let's put the other tray on top so that we can make beautiful round rice cakes. Make sure you press down firmly. If you have the same mold tray as me, you'll know you squeezed enough if dough starts coming out of the tiny holes. Okay, now here's the important step. You have to give this tray a nice ice bath. Submerge it completely. This process will help shape the rice cakes perfectly. Just let them soak for about 3 to 5 minutes, and you'll end up getting these beautiful looking rice cake balls. Alright, let's see how these turned out. Since they've been soaking in the water, the rice cakes should come out of the tray easily. Yep, but as you can see, it's just one big block. But not to worry, we can use scissors to clean this up. Now give me a minute while I cut this up. This is pretty fun. These were so sticky earlier, now they're just slippery and very gummy. The cold water turned our sticky dough firm, so now we'll have a nice chewy dessert. Now it looks like a square, but let's cut away all of this extra dough. Perfect! Now we have a delicious looking mochi ball. Now, I know I said these are firm, but that's compared to what our dough was before the ice bath. Overall, they're still on the delicate side, so if you squeeze the mochi balls, they will burst, so handle with caution. You only want these mochi balls to burst when you eat them, so make sure they look good until the taste testing part. Right now, you're probably thinking I don't have enough mochi balls, and you're correct. I only have one of these trays, so let me go ahead and make another batch. Show myself cutting a couple more. Don't worry, I'll speed things up in a bit. But this process is so cool, I had to show it again. Alright, since we are making rainbow rice cakes, let's use food coloring to change our syrup. I separated the chilled syrup into different bowls, and I'll start by making red syrup. Now let's make orange. Let's make yellow. Here's green. Here's blue. And purple. Now just grab your mochi balls and put them in the bowls. I'll put 3 rice cakes into each bowl. I'm going to let these soak for about 10 minutes, but if you have more time and patience, you can let them sit longer if you like. The rice cakes will absorb more syrup if you let them sit longer, and you'll end up getting a darker color. Alright, our rice cakes look good, so now let's make a rainbow rice cake skewer. Start with purple. Now let's slide in blue. Next, we'll add green. Now let's add yellow. Here's orange and red. Check it out. Here's a closer look at our rainbow rice cake skewer. Let's make another one. Wow, this looks beautiful. So, if you like how these colors turned out, then 10 to 15 minutes should be fine. Alright, so I transferred our skewers onto a plate. Now, compared to rice cakes or mochis, these are on the wetter side, so keep that in mind. Usually, rice cakes or mochis are dry. Now it's time to give our rice cakes a taste test. I'm pretty curious. It is wet, so initial reaction, I thought this was a jelly. Slight chewy texture like mochi, but you can't chew for long because it just melts in your mouth. So I thought it was going to be chewier, but I guess not. Hold up, I have to try this again. Yeah, so this treat isn't super sweet and honestly doesn't have much flavor to it, but it's kind of addicting. Your brain just keeps telling you that you want more. Very interesting dessert and very different from what we've done in the past, but I highly recommend this one. AWESMR Pop fans, thank you so much for watching. We can't do this without you. If you're new to the channel and became a fan, click that subscribe button for more awesome stuff. And if you want to be the first person to watch our next video, hit that notification bell to have a chance. See ya!